Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Disjointed Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Yo, seeing as we were not here last Thursday, I have a very important question for you, sir.
Go for it.
Are you still eating last Thursday's food?
No, we have finally finished it off.
Nice.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. Oh, actually, excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific hunter himself, Zealeus.
It's good to see all the wonderful people who do the ones and zeros.
Yes. Zeros and ones, ones and zeros.
There are so many.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, the Thursday Night Hangout. It's a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you. If at any time during the show you have any questions or comments or topics that you would like for us to discuss, please drop it in the chat and we'll try to add it to the show. If we do run out of time, we will add it to the very next show. So without further ado, let's start off with a PSA. Ladies and gentlemen, if your state is currently in a runoff election, please go vote. Thank you.
Yes, you should vote, do the thing. And, participating in democracy is a good thing. And just for fun, throwing into the chat, if I can find... Wait, where'd the chat window go? I broke my Twitch.
It's like an arrow or something on the side.
What? What? Did they change my interface? I hate you.
Probably.
Wait, oh, there it is. I found the arrow. Aha.
Ta-da!
No, I don't want shield mode shortcut. I don't know what you are.
Yeah, it's a brand new feature.
And it broke my copy and paste. This is just not going well.
Sorry, Zealeus.
I'm feeling like being a dweeb. There we go.
There you go.
The Secretary of State's guide on voting. It's easy. I was in and out on like 10 to 20 minutes on the first day on Monday.
I was in line for an hour and 10 minutes on Tuesday.
There you go.
Anyways.
It seems like a wild's very dependent. It depends on how many volunteers they have queuing people through and doing the thing.
Well, it's really how many volunteers are actually in the state of Georgia. How many volunteers are actually authorizing those little cards that you have to slap into the voting machine?
Indeed.
Because there was plenty of booths. There's 20 at the Dunwoody Library, but there are only 2 people giving those cards. So at most, there were 4 booths in use. And in the state of Georgia, and if you're in Dunwoody, there's only one thing that you got to do on the ballot. So literally, it's like boop, 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 and then print.
For us, the line was there was only one thingamadoodle collecting the papers. So, we had plenty of machines with tickets and all that, but, there was a line to actually feed your paper, and you had to wait. It was it would think about it for, a while, and then, thunk. Okay, now next. That was our holdup, was one paper collector, ballot collector. I don't know what you actually call it.
It's the ballot collector, or counter, I should say.
Yeah, I guess I actually is technically doing the counting as it collects.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are curious and would like to have one of these spiffy hats like I have, you can go over to ultraconfusion.tv/merch right now, and you can go get yourself one, or you can get yourself a vinyl sticker. And, oh, by the way, my vinyl sticker is now finally on my car.
Oh, you are truly official emissary of Ultra Confusion now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so let's get into the meat of the stories. The first story, it's kind of silly, it's kind of funny, but I want to bring this up anyways. So it turns out that in the beginning, and I think this is, okay, let me preface this. I find it humorous that sometimes when you think that when you create something and you're not like, this is going to be the best thing in the world, when you don't have that mindset, but you create something just for shits and giggles, sometimes that's the thing that takes off.
Yep.
Case in point, there is a band, or I guess was a band, I don't know, called named Blur. And their song 2, was actually just they just kind of threw random shit together into a song to make fun of punk rock. And it turned out to be probably their biggest hit. But in the video game world, it turns out that Rockstar, once upon a time, at the very beginning of one of their most successful and popular franchises, thought that this would be a one and done thing. They're like, this is silly, this is stupid, it will never catch on. Ladies and gentlemen, the game that was voted less likely to succeed at Rockstar was Grand Theft Auto. And now, look where they are.
Now they've grown so much. Who knew?
They have survived. They, of course, you know, they created many of them. They survived one hell of a scandal with the hidden game called Hot Coffee, and they keep rolling.
Rolling with your stolen auto.
Yes. Although it you know, there, as the game has evolved, you know, there's a little bit more to it, because like back in the day, it was literally like this kind of top down view, and you got a little man, and you just would be stealing cars. So it's kind of branched off.
I really never got into Grand Theft Auto.
I played 3 and maybe 4. I never played San Andreas. It was fun for a while, but to be honest with you, I kind of like Saints Row more, simply because it was like that campy, spoofy. We're making fun of Grand Theft Auto, although that went away and now they're bringing it back. So, but I don't know if it'll be the same.
Is anything ever really the same? Life is to change, is it not?
Ooh, some deep words from Zealeus, ladies and gentlemen. Some deep words.
That's pretty much all I got for tonight. It took a lot out of me.
So yeah. I'm trying to think of other games. Final Fantasy was literally Square's last ditch effort. They're like, it's gonna be our final game. We're gonna make it a fantasy game, and then of course now we're at what, 16?
It just keeps on finalizing until there's a Final Fantasy. The finalist fantasy?
It's the final last fantasy.
Fantasy final.
Fantasy final. That's what they're going to do. They're just going to swap the words around and be like, drop mic, walk off stage. Fantasy final.
Do you think we'll ever see an end of Final Fantasy series in our lifetime?
Ooh. Like new releases, because
correct.
Like,
yeah,
there's going to be, you know, the MMOs are going to stick around for, you know, there'll be some MMOs out there that'll probably, you know, survive for quite some time. But I don't know.
I honestly think if anything, like the last 5 years has shown that it'll never die. And not necessarily because of new and interesting ideas, but kind of like Hollywood, where it's the continued regurgitation of old franchises and ideas.
Right.
It would be like, you know, 40 years from now, when it's the PlayStation 18, it's like, we're going to re-release Final Fantasy VII for the 4th time with better immersive graphics.
I need the remake Chapter 2. Can we just have that, please? I need it now.
So I think they've shown, like, and like if Square Enix were to like go under, then Activision, Blizzard, EA, or somebody would just buy them up and continue making, you know, cannibalize. At least Square Enix has been a good shepherd of the Final Fantasy name.
Yeah.
But I could easily, like, let's just say Square Enix goes under and like a Activision buys them. Well, it's going to become like a Diablo or one of those, where then it's like, oh, it's no longer, who knows what you're getting out of the RPG. And admittedly, not every Final Fantasy has been great, but I feel like they've at least actually tried with each of the entries, even if they, you know, even if some have a 40-hour prologue, the effort was at least there to try to make a good game.
Yeah, touche. Yes, I will concur with that. So, the next bit of news, speaking of sequels, we have the name for the next Indiana Jones movie.
Oh.
It is The Dial of Destiny. And thanks to the power of CG, Harrison Ford is going to be de-aged through chunks of it. Yippee.
There's only one movie coming out in the near future or distant future that I actually want to go see in theaters.
Avatar: The Love of Water.
For the love of no, let's go with John Wick Chapter 4.
Touche.
That is a movie that I'll make an afternoon of to go see in the theater. But like, I just have honestly, I have no idea what's coming on in the theater. And like, I used to go every weekend. Like, I used to be a theater junkie, really pre-COVID. And
believe me, I went. I got in on that with you and your dad.
Mm-hmm. That was like our hangout time every weekend. But now it's just like, it's not the same. I think it was like the perfect storm of COVID keeping everybody at home.
Yep.
Like the weird lull in Hollywood because of that.
Yep.
And now the proliferation of home entertainment in forms of Netflix and Disney Plus and all the other stuff. It's like, meh, I'll wait a couple of years and just see it online.
True. Speaking of Netflix, though, there's a movie that came out recently called Slumberland. I highly recommend it. I mean, it's based off of a comic book from like the early 1900s called Nemo and the Adventures in Slumberland, which is actually an animated movie from like, I think it was like the late 80s. But it's not the same movie. I mean, it's the same. You've got the same type of characters, but ladies, Jason Momoa is in it, so there's that for you. Though he plays an interesting character.
I think I saw the preview for that, and I was like, interesting.
It is, and I have to say that one of the twists that you find out during the movie, I kind of had like to face palm because like it's so obvious. How did I not see that?
He's been in a couple. He was in another Netflix movie 2-ish years ago. I don't know what it's called, but it was an action flick. It was pretty good.
I really need to move this laptop a little bit closer because I keep walking right off camera. To like
it's like too far away.
Too far away. Can't barely get there. Oh.
So close yet
so far away. Close. But yeah, I've Indiana Jones, the 5th movie, The Dial of Destiny. Let's see, it was Raiders of the Lost Ark, because it wasn't even Indiana Jones on the first one. It's called Raiders of the Lost Ark. Then it was Temple of Doom. Then it was The Last Crusade. Then it was The Crystal Skull, which was absolute.
I heard that one's terrible.
It is terrible. They bring aliens into the mix.
I mean, why not?
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I just work here.
No, thank you, please.
But what if aliens are real? Then it made sense.
I am an alien.
Aren't we all technically aliens by existing in this world?
Chip says, I love the UGA hat, but prefer the fedora, Zealeus.
Well, for this week, I did have to rep UGA for being the SEC East champions. And barring like 100-point blowout and Kirby Smart actually going in like murdering the entire college football playoff committee, they should be in the playoffs. So for this week, I had to give a little bit of representation to my alma mater, the Georgia Bulldogs.
There you go. I will just keep repping Alter Confusion. I wear the hat everywhere. I would be wearing my sweatshirt, but I wore it last night. And I had a basketball game, so it is quite stinky.
That's a quality reason not to wear it.
So I'm wearing my Foo Fighters t-shirt.
I appreciate you not stinking up the show, sir.
Ah, yes, the smell of vision is something to, smell of vision. All right, so speaking of, sorry, I wrote my notes really fast, and Zealeus is not gonna be able to see this, apparently not a lot of. Oh, there we go. I wrote my notes really fast, and I can't read my own handwriting, so I apologize.
I can't read my own handwriting when I write slowly or fastly or medium. That's why I don't use handwriting. I just type.
Chip, it is currently men's basketball season in my household, so it is go Winthrop. Though I do have to rep my employer, so go Tech. You made the right football hire. That's all I have to say.
Well, one of your teams at least did.
I didn't say the other team. I said Tech. Okay.
Well, I think Tech made a smart hire, and honestly, making it a more interesting rivalry will be better for everybody.
Yes. Okay, so I know this is going to come as a huge surprise to everyone, but the United Kingdom, England, Britain, whatever you want to call them, there was a brain trust that has finally, through scientific data, come out with results on loot boxes and their impact on children. And do you want to take a wild guess what they found?
Please tell us, sir.
They found that loot boxes cause financial and emotional harm to children.
You don't say.
Yes. What a surprise. Yeah. Well,
probably harm to their parents as they continue to beg their parents, Daddy, just one more loot box.
No, well, they're probably harming their parents because their parents were dumb enough to attach their credit card to that account.
Well, yes, that'd be a mistake.
Zealeus, of course, has just stated that he has switched from Chrome to Firefox to stream because Chrome is acting really weird. And I got to be honest with you, I don't know what the hell is going on, but if anybody out there is a Crunchyroll member, are you having issues streaming on through a browser? Because, oh my God, I'm getting nailed with random, like, are you a robot checks, like midstream.
That's bizarre.
And sometimes it'll be like, are you a robot? And then I'll do all the stuff. And then they'll be like, cool. And it'll start loading. And then it'll pop back to the, are you a robot?
And it doesn't like your IP address changes or something.
I don't know.
That's bizarre.
This is it's not like it's Wi-Fi. I mean, this is the direct line into the modem. So don't know.
I got nothing on that one, sir.
No, I got nothing either. But I mean, yes, I'm not surprised that the UK study found that, loot boxes are harmful. I just find it, I mean, I understand that scientific data needs to be validated to like the nth degree, but it's kind of like at this point, unless you live under a rock, but am I a robot? I am not a robot. I'm not a robot. Unless you live under a rock. I mean, by the time most of these scientific studies that are like these like analytical reports come out, most of us are going, no shit, Sherlock. Right?
Well, Sherlock had a lot of deduction reasoning skills, and not everyone has that in real life. So sometimes you have to rely on the actual smarty pants who use data and analysis to back that up, even though people decide to just disregard actual facts and studies and form their own opinions because they are an expert in the field of which they don't actually know anything.
There you go, I guess. I don't know. Oh,
and that's my rant for the day.
I forgot to tell you that Harrison Ford had for the new Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny, he has promised that it's not going to suck. Like, great.
Oh, well, now I feel much better about not seeing it in theaters.
Yay! Yeah, it will take one hell of a movie to get me into a theater. Yeah. I mean, no. Nope, there's not a movie out there right now. Sorry. Because chances are I could probably pay about the same price as, a thing of a movie ticket, popcorn, and a drink, and I could just own the digital version of the movie. I could go back and watch it a million times if it's awesome, or I could be one and done, or I may not even get through the entire movie and just say F it, because I've done that before too.
Haven't we all? Well, maybe we haven't all, but I have.
Okay, Zealeus, question for you: Is there a movie that you purchased but you have yet to actually watch?
Oh, good Lord. I haven't purchased a movie in 20 years.
That's bullshit. Fine. Is there a movie that you've either purchased or been gifted and that you have not watched?
Oh.
The answer for me, ladies and gentlemen, is yes. I have several.
I don't know.
I've got like 7 of them.
Like, I don't even know where the movies I own are right now. I think I actually gave them all to Goodwill.
All the Blu-rays?
I don't own any Blu-rays.
DVDs? VHSs?
DVDs, because I haven't played like a DVD in my DVD player.
You still have a DVD player?
For about another week. I'm swapping up. I got a new computer case. So my old chunky, like huge
behemoth.
tower. Yeah, my behemoth is being swapped out. And basically, any case you buy nowadays does not have peripheral slots for obvious reasons because they're not really needed.
What? I can't put my zip disk drive in the next box I buy?
You'll have to hook it up to the 3.5 SATA drive, sir. And then drill a hole in the side of your case to feed the wire.
No.
But yes, my actual old chunky computer case does have a DVD. Actually, my PS5 actually has a disc player, so I could actually use that to play DVDs.
I do want to point out that there was one person that tuned into my live stream for Extra Life who was saddened by the fact that Zealeus's chunky PC case did not make an appearance during this past Extra live stream.
Who is that?
Excuse me. My sister.
Oh.
Say what? He's making you do it all by your lonesome?
Well, I think last time when I actually brought my PS5 last time.
Yep, you did. This is true. All right, so question for you, Zealeus. We've talked about this many times before, but I swear to God, I feel like this is...
Wait, hold on. What movie have you not watched that you own?
The second and third...
No.
The second Boondock Saints.
Really?
Yep. And... oh crap! I have to. I could see the box in my head, but because I know the wrapper's still on it, but I can't remember the name off the top of my head. It's a sci-fi movie. Oh, Ready Player One. No, Ready Player One.
Really?
Oh, and Ender's Game. Damn it!
Ready Player One was actually I enjoyed the movie.
I was just so fearful, with like all of the brand stuff that they did in the book, how they would be able to do it in the movie. But I'm going to sit down and watch it soonish.
And I definitely did not watch Ender's Game.
It's a good book.
It's a great book.
Fine, it's a great book.
There you go. That's the spirit.
Great.
Right. What's your question, sir?
Okay, so I swear that I feel like there is a lot of this going on with online games, and that is the crossover. So you have, you've got a game, be it Smite, Lost Ark, Paladins, Apex Legend, insert other online game here, and then they do a crossover where they basically give you a bunch of, skins or characters from another game.
Yep.
Are you cool with that? Are you down with that?
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it screams money grab to me.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I don't have a problem with it. What I actually prefer over those are seasonal events, like Halloween themed, Christmas themed, like Easter themed, like those type of thematic events.
Mm-hmm.
And like usually the MMOs or online games, I actually much prefer those.
I do remember back in my old world, when I actually played World of Warcraft, the Christmas events were fun.
Yeah,
where you had to collect the Christmas cookies.
Yeah, so those are my favorite personally. Crossover events, they're really interesting to people, which I get, and that's great.
Yeah.
But for me, they just don't hold a whole lot of appeal, or more to the point, purchasing interest. Because, I mean, that's why they do it. Because, you know, if you're doing a Witcher crossover in Smite, I don't know if that exists, they obviously want you to buy Geralt as one of your gods to play in Smite.
Well, it would just be a Geralt skin over one of their existing gods.
There you go.
That's what they want you to do. The first time I saw Smite do a crossover, I got so excited, like, oh my god, this is gonna be amazing! It's like, yeah, it looks like the character from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Avatar: The Last Airbender, but it's actually just a skin on top of one of the existing gods. It's not like they're adding that character, which would be so much work to actually like put Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Leonardo in there, and then have to come up with, you know, their skills, their powers, and stuff.
So tangentially, actually related to your question, it's one of the FPSs new out. I don't remember which one it is, but they do the like Founders Pack deal, right? Well, the deal with one of the skins is it's a really dark colored skin. Which means everybody wants that skin, though, because in these maps, it's really giving these players a tactical advantage by basically
stand out as much.
Yeah, like literally, it's like camouflage if you have this exclusive skin. So I'm like, okay, that's like, again, I don't have a problem with crossover skins, but if it's a skin like that, that gives a player an actual tactical advantage where it's supposed to be purely skill based, then I'm like, oof. Or like it's going to actually be interesting. Where I know we've talked about Overwatch 2 in the Battle Pass a couple of times.
Yep.
But now with the next season coming, so Blizzard has a long and short history of totally overtuning newer released heroes. It's like a tried and true tradition of them. But it used to always be that all the characters were available, so while it could suck, it wasn't like the end of the world.
Right.
But now, with the second season coming up, they have a new hero. I know it's not DPS, so it's either tank or support, who's probably going to be totally overpowered, but it's locked behind the battle pass.
Yes, because there'll be what do you call it? Award for completing tasks.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. That's when it'll really be interesting to see what happens with Overwatch 2, is once you start to have this ongoing history of actually locking content that the players can play with behind the battle pass. You know, it's one thing to have skins. It's another thing to potentially affect competitive balance by locking it behind the battle pass. But we'll see what happens.
Yes, you shall. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to pause real quick to do shout out to the friends of the show. These are the amazing people who help support Alter Confusion and allow Alter Confusion the chance to continue to do what we do. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to jump right in and tell you about the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give to is the man, the myth, the legend that, of course, is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Wet Kid 47 Media, it's your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. And this boy has been super duper busy. Unfortunately, not in the convention circuit. He works for a local news station in Columbia, South Carolina. But hopefully, Noodle Boy Media and Alter Confusion will be able to hang out at a convention in the very, very near future.
Nice.
The next shout out I got to give is to a gentleman who's actually at my house today. That, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to www.herochiropractic.com.
Yeah!
Now, the next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself. Ladies and gentlemen, need a new logo or want to work on full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content. CrossPad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. And the final shout out we got to give is to probably the first guy who was a patron of Alter Confusion. That, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both a development team and a system administration team, working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings, and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admin, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know that you're probably going, but how can I become a friend of the show and get that shout out? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've got the answer for you right here. Ladies and gentlemen, Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, and demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, alien supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. We currently have 2 levels or tiers that you can become a patron on. The first one is $1 a month or $12 a year. And what that will get you is early access to all the playthroughs, which the current playthrough is Voodoo Detective. Very interesting game. And of course, the ability to participate in patron-only posts and polls to help Alter Confusion's future. Now, if you're feeling a little spicy and frisky, we have the $5 tier. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. Not only do you get everything at the $1 tier, but you also have your name or organization added to our thank you section of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you're interested, go to Patreon. Ooh, Lord. Patreon. That's patreon.com/alteredconfusion. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, if I'm getting a little tongue-tied. It's been a very long week, and so my brain is kind of off and on right now for some weird-ass reason. Jeez almighty. Brains! Dinner! Of course, brains makes me think of that Jonathan Colton song, which is a great song. So look it up. Okay. So let's talk about something that's making a little bit of a shockwave, and that is that there is a humongous Smash Brothers tournament that really, super duper duper close to it actually happening, is being shut down. This tournament, which it's an annual tournament, it's been around for a bit. It's was supposed to happen December 9th through the 11th and had a prize pool of $2,500,000, had sponsors, had venue space, had everything. And without any warning, the night before Thanksgiving, Nintendo said, you can't do it. Now,
it's not a Thanksgiving gift.
Yeah, I'm not really thankful for that. So depending on which side you are, you're looking at it from, Smash World Tour, that's the name of the event, basically said that they were under the impression that they had been working in good faith with Nintendo to be able to get Nintendo's blessing to do this humongous event. Like I said, it had sponsors, it had venue space, it had all this stuff, and they felt that they were going to they were building up to this, huzzah type of event. Okay, so Thanksgiving, for anybody out there who may not be in the U.S., was last week. And that basically, so the 9th through the 11th of December is next Friday. So a week from Friday. So they basically gave them just a little less than 2 weeks notice that they can't put this event on.
Oof.
Which, as I personally know an event planner, because I'm married to her, would probably cause her to go on the warpath, and I don't know what's going on with those guys, and then all those sponsors and the venue and all that stuff, because it's probably too late. I mean, the amount of money that's lost because of this.
Oh, they definitely lost money on it. Yes.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, but the sheer volume of money that that's going to be lost and cannot be recuperated is going to be nuts. Now, here's if you want to go conspiracy theory route, there is another Smash tournament out there that is getting Nintendo's blessing. And though Nintendo has gone on the record several times and said that this other vendor does not have an exclusive contract, they now have the exclusive contract because this was the competing convention or expo event, whatever, tournament. So anyways, the event the event planner and all that stuff, they said that they were working in good faith to get the license for this year. Now Nintendo's gone out and said that we tried as much as we could to work with this company. However, we just didn't see eye to eye for their license in 2023. We're in the year 2022. And so the event guys were going, no. We weren't trying to get, I mean, yes, we would like to continue to have one for 2023, but we were going for 2022. And so everything just went sideways, kaboom, sad day. I mean, gosh darn it, I don't know.
I mean, to me, it sucks because Nintendo, even though they put out great products, are continuously anti-gamer. I mean, really, in how they come out, and regardless of whether or not they're legal in the right, that really doesn't sway me one way or the other. But like, this is something that if anything, to me at least, grows your brand and like it's a good thing for the gaming community. So it's like it's stuff like this where basically the companies basically hold the consumer by the balls and there's nothing you can do about it. It kind of sucks to me. And I mean, I know it's been this way, but it's a further encapsulation of we no longer own anything. And it's purely what are we allowed to do basically at a corporation's allowance.
Right.
And it's just that continuing trend in everything. So it's kind of like, oof. And that's where it sucks, is it's so anti-gamer and consumer because we have really no recourse or way to combat it, basically.
Right. I understand that you want to protect your IP, but it's kind of a dick move. If you're like, by the way, I know you got 2 weeks, but shut it down.
Yeah.
I got as I've said many, many times, I love the first party titles from Nintendo. The Marios, the Zeldas, the Smash Brothers, all of those games out there, Donkey Kong.
Yep.
I love them all. However, Nintendo has such a freaking stranglehold over stuff. It's I think for me the big one was the fan project Hero of Time, where you had these people who made a really, really good effort in trying to get you a fan-fic movie for Zelda, and then again shut down. I mean, that I understand you that you don't want people to make money off your IP, but it just sucks when you see how passionate these fans are, and for them to have like no wiggle room whatsoever.
I think that's something hard because it's like there's no balance between the consumer and in this case Nintendo. Like there's no, it's purely take by Nintendo. There's like no give.
Yeah, you are
on their yeah.
You are allowed the ability to enjoy our IP in basically in this box that we will put you in.
Yep.
But you're like,
I'm still waiting for them to come to like Dragon Con and shut it down because of all the illicit IP there.
Well, I'm just waiting for them to start, trying to go after like the big name cosplayers, saying no, you can't do that. You can't be Princess Zelda or Link or Ganon or Mario or Luigi or Toad or Princess. I'm just waiting for that freaking shoe to fall at this point. Because it's going to happen. At some point, Nintendo's already, in its own world, and it's worked out for them and the, with the Wii and now the Nintendo Switch. But in some regards, my God, dude, just whatever.
Well, the hard part too, like, let's just say they came down on a cosplayer.
Yep.
Like, it's not like this cosplayer is going to have the resources to fight that either.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like with the way the system is set up, you basically have no recourse to fight that in court.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? You have to shut it down.
Well, it's my cosplay of Link was actually, it's not Link, it's an elvish swordsman with a green cap.
It's Canil.
Yeah, Canil.
No, it's forest green.
It's Zinc, okay? That's his name, is Zinc, damn it. It's not Link, it's Zinc.
No, the Zelda is a she and the Link is a he.
Ha-ha! Anyway, so I mean, I feel for these guys. I mean, the promoters are on the line for everything. I don't know. That's I don't even want to begin to think of how they're going to be. I mean, they're got to take some freaking loans out to pay all the shit back.
Yeah, because they're expecting to recoup that cost from the people attending and all that stuff, and now they're going to be out, unfortunately, a pretty good chunk of change. And you probably have people who already have like flights and other stuff associated with that now that they also can't get back.
Yep, hotel stay and all that jazz.
Oh yeah, it all around is kind of crappy.
Yes. Speaking of crappy, there was a study, or I guess a report done, that basically, okay, I'm going to use this math terminology, and I still don't truly understand it, but it's the median earning for independent games. What do you think median, basically, what is the average amount of money lifetime that an indie game will make on Steam?
That an indie game will make?
Yes, that an indie game will make on Steam. What is the average?
Okay, here's the question, though. Are we considering like the shovelware, of which there's thousands, that probably make like $10? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Is that including
anything that is considered indie game on the Steam platform?
I would say, if we're including those, I'd say $50,000.
If only, my friend.
10,000?
1,000.
But again, I think that's because you have so much shovelware that probably makes like $10 because it's Flappy Bird's version 47.
Right. And also, I do want to point this out to anybody who is thinking about creating an indie game. That number, I hope, does not scare you away, because one, there's no way in hell that an indie developer can survive on a single platform. Okay? Yeah. You can't do it. So you're probably going to have your game on Steam, on GOG, on Epic, any platform that you could submit it to that will accept it. You've probably got it there. Okay? So you're trying to recoup it that way. And chances are you're probably going to put it on additional like console platforms, or maybe if you can swing it, the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store, whatever, the App Store.
And just to give you context, I'm going to put this in chat. This is interesting. Yep. Is the number of annual Steam games released per a year. 2021, 10,000 games.
Yep.
So, if you did a poll of those 10,000 games, how many of people have heard of these games? People have probably heard of like literally 0.01% of the games released in the past year.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's like, that'd be 100 games. Now you look at that, 9,000, total, there's probably 50. I'm just doing a quick ballpark, probably 40 to 50,000 games on Steam, just based on the number of released over the last number of years.
Yep.
Some of which probably have never touched in years. I mean, it's kind of like the app. It's kind of like the App Store on the iPhone. There's so much stuff to fight against in crapware where, you can have, the greatest game ever. And I know we used to do the talking cons about, so you made a game and now what?
Mm-hmm.
It requires more than just releasing a great game. And that's where something like Giant Bomb Games has done so well, is it's an indie developer.
Not Giant Bomb.
I know I said that wrong.
Super Giant Games.
Thank you, Super Giant Games. I'm getting them, and wasn't the review website? I'm getting those two mixed up.
Yes, which Giant Bomb just leaves a bad taste in my mouth for so many reasons.
So it's like, I'm not surprised that it's so low, because so many of those 10,000 games in the last year alone, probably made like $10.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was like, or his senior capstone projects, like, hey, let's release it on Steam and see what happens, guys.
Well, I mean, the other thing is that you also have to take into consideration that a lot of these games are probably created through some, RPG maker, which I'm not trying to discount that, but when you use RPG Maker, there's strict limitations, and there's so much cookie cutter shit that people do to, like, I released 6 games this year, all through RPG Maker, and it's literally like, if authors want to go and comb through all these games, you'll probably find that your book is in at least one, or your sci-fi fantasy novel is in at least one or multiple RPG Maker games. Probably poorly done, but still, that's what some people do. Is they literally they find a sci-fi fantasy novel, they try to rip the dialogue right out of it. Thank you, ebooks with the ability to export to PDF. Sorry, I'm giving away trade secrets here.
Well, remember, you used to have Steam Greenlight.
Yep.
Also, once upon a time, to give a little bit of highlight to some of the better indie games. Mm-hmm. You no longer have that. So literally anyone can just throw your game on Steam and just kind of see what sticks today.
And to be totally honest with you, and I was listening to a comedian just the other day, and this is true across anything. Success, you could say, I've got all these amazing skills, I'm so, for him, it's like, I'm so funny, I reach a specific demographic. He's like, I'm not going to bullshit you. It's luck. It's absolutely luck. He's like, I could be the best comedian known to man, but if if certain things didn't fall in my favor, no one would know of me. And unfortunately, that's the same about actors and movies and books and video games and insert other creative project here.
Well, it's also who do you know? I mean, that makes such a huge difference too, of getting the right connections.
Does make it easier.
Well, I'd argue in something, especially like in the acting industry, that's all about who you know. In terms of getting your movie role. For instance, I'd say video games, who do you know in advertising or publishing to get onto a publisher who's going to be able to make your game more relevant and seen on Steam? I mean, those type of things are huge. How are you going to get onto that front page of the Apple App Store and not just someone at the bottom where nobody's going to see it? So those type of connections in the video game industry, that is so huge. It's. Now, I'm glad I'm not a video game developer.
Now,
I'm freaking gambling.
Any time you create something and you release it into the wild, you're gambling. But I do. Once again, Zealeus is right. It really helps to know people to help push your product, your agenda, whatever. But that's not to say that it's impossible if you are brand new to being an artist or an author or a developer, that you can't have lightning strike. I mean, you could, for example, let's say you wanted to be an actor or a voice actor. If you have you might be doing a live show every Thursday night, and by chance some big name influencer catches wind of it, and then they talk about it, and the next thing it blows up. I mean, this is basically the classic Indeed commercial. It's the app or website that you could go to find qualified candidates. Jenny was a coffee maker. She brews her own beans for coffee, and then a big name, chef celebrity said, "Oh my God, Jenny's coffee beans are amazing," and next thing you know, it's skyrocketing. That's how it happens.
Well, I think of video games, I do think there's a bit of having a good game with advertising.
Yes.
I think is key. So, for instance, the game I saw on Facebook that I'm totally getting is called Against the Storm. Mm-hmm. It's a city builder. But everything you read about it, it's amazing. And all the reviews and everything, it look like they're real, not just paid. And so you see stuff like that. So there are definitely good games that come out but it's also kind of like finding those is not always easy. Sometimes you just get lucky and see the right advertisement for it.
Yep.
So that's why I'm like, sometimes some games like that, like, come on, like, let these rise to the top. And that's where I miss something like the Steam Greenlight, where it's kind of like a curation of these indie games because of the other 9,000. Crap, I just knocked over my beer.
Zealeus goes to clean up his beer, I'll just say that there are certain things that try to help indies, especially on Steam. You have your Steam your discovery list, but once again, as Zealeus stated, there's like 10,000 games out there, so the likelihood of your game, enough people actually utilizing that discovery list and catching your game is very low. However, once again, you got to put yourself out there. Go to conventions. Send a copy to an influencer. See what happens. Most influencers will giggle and laugh and probably throw it in the trash. But some might actually be like, well, what the hell, I'm bored. Or let's see how bad it is, and then I'll live stream about it. No, I'll TikTok about it. And then we'll just go on with our lives. And then next thing you know, you have Flappy Birds. Or Braid, and you can cause Jonathan Blow to blow his gasket because you're not playing my game the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you that no two people in the world will ever truly, completely view a creation the exact same way. If they do, one of them's getting paid. But, it is a little bit sad that the average amount made over the lifetime of the game. That's the important thing. It's not like the initial 6 months that it's on. It's the lifetime of the game. So it could be several years, and you might break a cool grand. But it is a very rough world out there to live on your creations, which is why a lot of developers or indie creators have to hold down 1 or 2 jobs, plus creating their own dream project. Unless you get really freaking lucky and one of your projects catches fire, and then next thing you know, you got Supergiant Games, or what was the name of there was I think it's still around. What was Castle Crashers? The developers behind Castle Crashers. Because they stormed onto the scene, and then the Behemoth. Are they still around? I don't know if they're still around. Castle Crashers was a phenomenal game. Co-op side-scroller, where you could play as one of 3 different knights as you go through levels. The red, the green, the orange, or the blue. Then they tried to do some other stuff, and it just didn't really click. So I guess, and enjoy it while you're at the top if you get there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, because Zealeus has continued to clean up his mess. I don't know if Zealeus wanted to add any additional thoughts.
See, kids, this is why you shouldn't drink and podcast.
See, kids, this is why you always have a lid on your drink.
I forgot my lid for my glass drink, but you are correct. I would not disagree with that. Or just don't be a klutz like me. That's always a winning combination.
Touche. But yeah, if, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a creation that you're passionate about, you can always send it Alter Confusion's way via any of our social media stuff. But if it is a physical product, we do have a mailing address that you can send it to, and that is 1551 Dunwoody. That's DUNWOODY Village Parkway. The next part is super important if you actually want us to see it and show it off on our show. It's the P.O. Box number 88276. The city, again, is Dunwoody, DUNWOODY, Georgia 30338. Now, Found a fun way to kind of sneak that in there. Ha ha.
Nice.
Okay, so as we probably have all noticed, a lot of video games have been going to TV. They're creating TV series or they're creating movies or whatever. But there is one company out there who makes like cinematic-esque games with the type of dialogue and the choice, just the graphics and everything. Of course, the company is called Quantic Dreams.
Yes.
It is Heavy Rain. Oh my gosh, it just blanked out on the other two. Oh god dang it! Was it Beyond Two Souls? Is that them? I think that is.
Yeah, the Detroit Becomes Human.
That's it. Anyways, they came out recently because everyone's like, okay, dude, like serious, yeah, Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Soul. They're like, look, I'm surprised that you haven't created like a TV show or a movie with the kind of scripts and stuff you got. And they came out and they've basically said, we have no interest in doing that. We just want to make the games. We don't want to see our games made into TV shows. But to be honest with you, the experience is like a TV or a movie. I mean, it really is. And it's a movie that evolves every single time you play because this company...
A game like that doesn't seem like it serves a whole lot of purpose of creating a video game because kind of like you put it, you already are in basically almost a video game.
I mean, hell...
you're already almost in a movie playing that video game.
Right. I mean, in Heavy Rain, you have 5 characters. And at any point during that game, one of those characters could die. But the game continues. It's not like you retry for the last save. That's not how the game works. It just keeps going, but without that character. So it really is your choose your own adventure where choices 100% matter. And it's just bravo for them. I mean, I understand it. I would assume there is a shit ton of pressure on them, and I think they're no longer by themselves. They're owned by another company at this point, I think. Is it Sony? Did Sony buy them? Who bought them?
Well, I also feel like at least the most recent anime translations from the video games to the anime have been pretty much fantastic, really, over the last couple of years with all the stuff. I mean, so I can understand not wanting your movie to be made into U-ball piece of crap movie. That I totally understand. But I feel like what they've been doing with Netflix lately, it probably allow them to say better and more closely to the source material where the actual good story comes from. Mm-hmm. That definitely helps.
Yeah. No, Quantic Dreams is now owned by NetEase.
NetEase, really?
Yep.
Wow.
They apparently had several suitors, but they chose NetEase's proposal because it would allow them to basically operate as normal instead of having to truly adhere to other rules and regulations.
Interesting. Just with more funding.
Yeah. Well, they got a bunch of funding because NetEase and Blizzard couldn't reach that agreement for World of Warcraft.
I saw that, yes.
So
gotta spend that money somewhere.
Exactly.
Might as well spend it on me. Wait, what?
Huh?
Spend the money on me? I think you're onto something.
Interesting. Perhaps finance all to confusion? But anyways, but yeah, good for them. I mean, as long as you continue to make really good games, I'm not going to say anything. You start making spectacular games, I'm going to have a problem.
It's hard.
But anyways, Zealeus, what have you been playing?
Wait, what am I? Oh, I'm playing. I just started the game, Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Really?
Yeah.
And how you like it?
I like it. It's so much story. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but like the cutscenes. Like, I think there's more cutscenes than the actual game. But it's a good game. It's interesting. I'm like, okay. I mean, I don't want to stay anymore, but there's the Yakuza in the storyline. And yeah. Yeah, I like it. It's turn-based, not action, but yeah, it's basically turn-based party-based game. Which I was not expecting. I thought it was like action-based.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was turn-based.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I'm digging it so far.
Speaking of action-based, I actually picked up Tales of Arise and started playing that game.
I was like, I recognize that mask.
Yes.
I played that game.
And speaking about cutscenes, after you basically get through the first big boss, which is really just kind of like the tutorial part of the game, oh my God, the amount of cutscenes. They do like the intro credits. They got cutscenes, and I'm going, man, I was already, I usually stream from 8 o'clock until 11, and I was so pissed because I couldn't beat this boss. I finally beat the boss at like 11:25, but then you have the intro credits and then all the cutscenes. So I didn't actually log off until midnight.
I hate when games do that. I'm like, no, like give me like a second so I can like save or log off if I need to.
I know.
Yeah.
Then the other game I've been messing around with is One Piece World Seeker, which is based off the anime, the very, 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 very long anime One Piece, which I know I've looked this up several times, but episode number. One Piece currently has 1,042 episodes. And Netflix has the first, I think it's like 364. And I'm here to tell you that the game One Piece World Seeker is enjoyable. However, the vast majority of the characters that you're going to come into contact with in that game, where the main character, Monkey D. Luffy, will go, oh, no, not you again. I'm going, who is that?
Oh, jeez.
I mean, as you play, they kind of give you some more background, but at the same time, I'm going, I don't know who that is. How did Luffy get that scar? What happened there? Who's that? Like, there's still a crew member that I've never met.
You'll just have to watch another 500 episodes to find out.
Basically, I mean, man, I've watched all the episodes on Netflix, so all 360 something episodes. I'm happy, but that's only a third of the episodes. So I guess I can't be too happy. I can't be too proud of that. Unfortunately, I've watched the entire thing dubbed, and Crunchyroll's the only place I could seem to find the rest of the episodes, but they're all Japanese with subtitles. I might try to watch them or continue to watch them that way, but it's going to take me some time to get used to the different voices.
That threw me off with what was it? Not Tales of Arise, but Tales. What is that show called?
God dang you! Now I can't think of it.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yes.
Yeah, it's now because you said that I can't think of what the game is called or the anime is called. But same thing. It's like the first 52 episodes were on not Steam, good gosh, on Netflix.
Yep.
And then you get to the subbed version on whatever else you're on, and it's like completely different voices. And it's like, holy crap, it's like a different character now. Yes.
It's where it is kind of mind-boggling and crazy where if you listen to the original the Japanese or whatever, I'm talking about any show, you listen to the original audio and then maybe you switch over to dub where You've got people who have, you've got like an actor whose real voice is kind of like this. And then like the dub version is, hey, everybody, let's go fishing. Hey. And you're like, who is that? That's not the same person. There is an anime, I can't remember what it is, but there is an anime that that I actually own. It's in one of my huge S binders, where the studio ran out of money, and so the art style changed, so no character looked the same, and they couldn't pay their voice actors, so all the voices changed. Wow. And you're just like, now that's a mind fuck.
Is this even the same show anymore?
Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've reached the end of our show. So I would like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.